And for more, I'm joined now by Robert Danin, a Senior Fellow for Middle East Studies at the Council on Foreign Relations. Have you ever seen anything like this, a staunch ally of the US turning away elected members of the US Congress?
Well, I think there's a lot about this that is unprecedented. To have the President of the United States appeal to a foreign government to say, don't allow members of the United States Congress into their country is just unprecedented and quite startling, really.
And do you think President Trump put the Israelis in an impossible position with his tweet saying it would be weak to let the lawmakers in?
Absolutely. The Israeli government had wrestled with this decision for a while, and they came to the decision that they were going to allow them into the country because they are elected members of Congress. And so now they woke up to this tweet from President Trump saying they would be weak, and immediately you saw an about-face by Prime Minister Netanyahu saying they're not going to let them in. So it's a bit embarrassing for the government of Israel to be pushed this way to ban these members of Congress. It's really not a gift for the Israelis to alienate the Democratic Party, to unite the Democratic Party around these two members of Congress who are freshmen, relatively junior, who don't really necessarily represent the party. They represent one wing of the party, and they've forced members of the Democratic Party to unite behind them. So this is no gift for Israel to see a division of the bipartisan consensus in support of Israel.
Well, and indeed, where does it leave that bipartisan consensus? You have Democratic and Republican lawmakers saying this was the wrong decision tonight.
Well, this is really extraordinary. I mean, even Senator Marco Rubio and other prominent Republicans who are pro-Israel, who are anti-BDS, which was the basis for their being blocked.
The boycott, divest, sanctions movement, yeah.
Yes, said this was a mistake. I haven't seen really any American politicians come out and support this. It's very hard to defend.
And Prime Minister Netanyahu is facing an election in September. Is it possible it backfires on him?
Well, you know, there's been a bit of criticism within Israel today from the opposition, but not that much, because in reality, President Trump is very popular in Israel. It's probably the only other country outside the United States where President Trump is popular, and so going against this move really doesn't have a lot of domestic play in Israel. So some of the opposition in Israel have criticized it, but not as much as I would have expected.
And what do you think it does for long-term US-Israeli relations beyond just the relationship with President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu?
Well, I think that's where it's the most damaging. We've had a long-term trend in which you've seen fissures start to emerge between the two parties over Israel, and Prime Minister Netanyahu, in particular, has not really helped this. When he came and lobbied the Congress against the JCPOA that President Obama had negotiated, this was really unprecedented, and it really set a new reality in which at least parts of the Democratic Party were portrayed as not being as pro-Israel as the Republican Party. This is going to exacerbate that fissure, and it's going to really alienate some of the Democrats who have been straining to support Israel, but have been criticized within the party from the left, who say they're just apologizing for things in Israel that shouldn't be supported.
Robert Danin, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure. Thank you.